Let's dive straight into today's video. Welcome to another XRP Insider News. Hey, pay attention. I genuinely want you to buy a seatbelt from Amazon and simply fasten it to your chair when I tell you to buckle up. Alright, because you will soon want to check yourself into a mental institution due to the upcoming moves. Alright, it's going to get really exciting, people, so you want to be not wrapped around, but you know how they wrap you up in all that white stuff and put you on a chair. That's all I have to say then. And soon everything will come to pass, and the banks are terrified. Since day one, we have been telling you that Ripple is essentially preparing to become a bank, and by 2025, all of our predictions are coming true. Everything will be resolved in due time, and since price discovery is coming up and we have no idea how high this could get, I'm going to review the charts. When I say that, bear in mind that the SEC versus Ripple case is still pending, and that XRP is now trading at $3.59. Not even banks have made their way into the market yet. What else am I supposed to say? Wow, just those two by themselves. And for those who do see how big this is going to get, they will pray and say things like, "Thank God you were born blessed," if they don't see it yet. Alright, I don't mean to be impolite, but we're serious people, and those who don't understand this plainly weren't born blessed. For example, this is not something that should be turned away from. This is something you don't want to ignore. I swear to you. And I tweeted this today because, well, this is really big news. The OCC is being asked by the American Bankers Association to delay the application process for bank charters for cryptocurrency firms. This encompasses both Ripple and Circle, so keep in mind that on June 30th, 2025, Circle applied to become a bank. Then, only a few days later, Ripple announces that it will also be applying for a national bank charter. This includes everything that has already been documented. Everything we told you was coming is happening. Now that Ripple is going to get this, they're attempting to use some stall tactics. They are merely attempting to buy time because they wish to. They are aware that the number of partnerships they have on standby, including all those NDAs that will soon be made public, will be absolutely enormous once Ripple enters this market. However, pay attention to what they say here. Alright, in my opinion, this is very amusing. They value the OCC's chance to offer feedback on the most recent national bank charter application. They continue by bringing up Ripple National. Alright, they add that the organization requested the OCC to delay its review of the applications in light of these serious concerns, as well as the policy, legal, and business ramifications that chartering the applicants would have for the banking industry. Until the OCC has sufficient knowledge about the applicants' intended business plans and other application-related matters, the delay should be maintained. I won't get into this too much, but Ripple's already in this signify nothing at all, so this is such a farce. Alright, Ripple will eventually turn into a bank. Go ahead and enjoy your day. XRP will reach $100. However, everything we see at the moment is unexpected. What, in your opinion, will need to change the most for them to lose market share and for someone else to outperform JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs in terms of speed, quality, and customer service? You can even hear the bankers in a panic right now. Here's what always happens initially, but you can hear the panic in their voices. They attempt to say, "Oh, it's nothing," as the initial action. That's what they did. That's the case with every new industry. I mean, whenever a new technology emerges, the status quo, the incumbents, and the powers that be say it's nothing. Don't disregard the man behind the curtain. This isn't anything. Then it suddenly becomes too large to fit inside. They're saying things like, "Oh my God, I have to face this thing." They then say, "We're not letting this happen," as they all form a line and clasp their arms together. Then it continues. After that, they say, "All right, let's go after them. Let's go get the government, or let's sue them." Additionally, they embrace the technology. That's at the conclusion, I believe. No, this is their final action. No, it's after the press planning. They fabricate these press reports, file lawsuits, and make as large a scene as they can. Then they say, "Oh God, this is happening," and attempt to enlist their pals in the administration. And they're attempting it once more. Let's now discuss how XRP is affecting price discovery. We have hours and peak this morning at $3.65. Since these are generational bottoms, we currently have a lot of open trades. Additionally, I put this at $2.13 for XRP. This one I set at $2.60. I'm not kidding, people. Pay attention. I've spent a lot of time playing this game, and if you don't mind, I could tell you what we're going to see. And people, there will be fireworks once we surpass the 370, 380, and 390. It will be nothing short of spectacular. And allow me to explain a little bit about today's downturn, shall I? From $2.52 to $2.65, XRP increased. Alright, that sounded so wrong, but it went all the way up and came right back down. Then it did a pretty hard, it's not hard anymore. Alright, here's the problem though. I am one of the many leveraged traders who occur when this occurs, but I entered much earlier. Many traders who are highly leveraged come in here and invest $300 with a 50x or 100x margin because they believe that XRP will start to soar. Correct. However, they are unaware that everything is visible. The markets are currently being controlled by larger players before the banks intervene. Their liquidation price is approximately 3, 4, 5, or 7 cents at that point. Alright, if you choose a large margin, when that occurs, the individuals who are coming in at around 356 with 50, 40, or 30% leverage have liquidation that, as I mentioned, is about 6, 10, or 9 cents. Therefore, in order to remove the high leverage traders, these actions are required. Therefore, we might see a little bit more of a flush at this time, but if we could stay around $3.60. Therefore, it is extremely bullish if it drops to 355s and then rises to 363s and 59s. And this next step is just around the corner. Alright, I'll tell you one thing now. I'm going to pull out my fancy Sharpie for the next move we're going to see. This next move will go nuts right here, isn't it? $4 quickly. It will occur quickly. Everyone is going to be shocked by it. But these are absolutely like I said, if you could get into a decent trade right now and hold it till XRP goes to $7, $8, or $10 and a lot higher, no one's stopping what's coming. Make a risk assessment. Avoid using a lot of leverage. Don't use it foolishly. However, for every one of you, these are, as I mentioned, significant entry and generational bottoms at this time. They are also unable to stall. They are unable to stop Ripple XRP. The news that will be released in the upcoming weeks will be absolutely insane. You know, I'm not even sure whether this is true. I'm not even sure how people fail to notice this. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop there. And a lot of people are interested in cryptocurrency, and they have made a lot of money doing it. I haven't purchased any cryptocurrency. I feel foolish now. Thus, all of this money has been made by them. However, I believe that the notion of purchasing and hanging on to anything indefinitely without attempting to modify it necessitates that you have done it correctly in the first place. In other words, you can only hold on if you made the appropriate purchase. In other words, you should have an asset allocation that takes into account the number of years you have to save money, the resources you have at stake, the amount of income you require, and your level of bravery in enduring market fluctuations. Thus, I made my first Tesla investment in 2017. My $10,000 investment is now worth, I believe, $1 million, give or take a few $100,000. I'm a 32-year-old video producer named Brandon Smith. Thus, I made my first Tesla investment in 2017. My $10,000 investment is now worth, depending on the day, roughly $1 million, give or take a few $100,000. And it's really just getting started, you know. Galileo Russell was a man I discovered on YouTube. Hyperchange is the name of his channel, and I was somewhat influenced by his first or second video. After doing more research, I came across this community, which is known as the Tesla Motors Club. Additionally, there were these incredibly intelligent individuals who reported on the business in ways that, to be honest, I wasn't seeing in the media. And I thought, these guys are really knowledgeable about the company's financial documents and are delving deeply into them. I example the stock was stagnant from 2014 to 2019. So when it skyrocketed in 2020, I thought, finally, considering the course of the world in 2017, these weren't simply automobiles after all. We're talking about propulsion in general, planes, trains, vehicles, you name it. Everything is becoming electrified. The idea of saying, I'm good, I'm going to sell, has never really occurred to me. I'm in a terrific place right now, you know. However, given the company's trajectory, we're just getting started. I don't see the need to sell, primarily because I currently have a place of my own. I'm not in any particular rush. I can look at this growth rate and say, yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. But there's no real reason to utterly upend my life and impair my ability to do so. That's absurd. You must participate in this. While they sought buzz, we had the stars in mind, even though he advised us to have modest dreams. We spend time studying. We found the signal in the noise. Now Brad knew just what to do. When it comes to money's shifting processes, XRP homes are like jazz playing smoothly. Ben's journey into the truth is profound, audacious, and silent. To the minds that created this chain, we celebrate those who never sleep, thus through the hardships and the suffering. Therefore, in our opinion, to the intelligent and calm 100. While XRP merely makes the path clear, Bitcoin maxes shout on stage, trapped in loops. They call it belief. No sorrow, no delay. We receive utility every fall, but they hoard coins like dusty gold. The future is breathing steadily. Real people are aware of what is credible. It's not hype. Since it is code, we salute those who watch the entire thing. We salute the builders, the flow, the place where the real ones choose to go, the plan, the heart, and XRP will lead the land. Truth doesn't falter and value doesn't lie. Let the old world fall apart, we'll rebuild it. Stars indicate strategic reserves. XRP will carry us far. Here's to the dreamers who persevered through the storm and the struggle, and to the signal that is bright and clear. We rise with the light. Salute.